Today we are making a beautiful dinner roll wreath. I love dinner rolls, and when I go to someone's house and I see dinner rolls on the table, now I'm off onto some other thing. It's a story we do not need to tell today. All right, let's get back to what we're talking about. This is so gorgeous, but it's not only gorgeous to look at, it also tastes amazing. You have that crispy outside of the rolls that you can pull apart, and then inside it's soft and delicious. You could also add your favorite spread or dip and put it in the middle of this wreath, and it makes such a beautiful statement. You can even find a gluten-free version of this recipe on my website. I'll leave a link down below. Believe me, if I was to go over to someone's house and I see this on the table, I would be impressed and I would know good things are coming. So let's get right into this video. I'm Chef Ani, so enough talking, let's get cooking. So you can either mix and knead these rolls by hand, or you can use a mixer. And we're going to start with some warm water, and you want it around 110 degrees, just so that it is warm to the touch but not hot. You do not want it hot because it will kill the yeast and then your bread dough will not rise. And I'm going to add in a little bit of sugar. Yeast really likes sugar, so this helps it come together and proof and be very happy. I'm going to put in this yeast as well, and then I'm just going to give that a quick mix here. And then we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes, and this will allow the yeast to proof. So 10 minutes has passed, and if you look at our yeast here, you can see it has really puffed up and proofed here, and this is a good sign. This means we have happy yeast. Now, if it hasn't puffed up and it's not foamy like this, then you might want to start over because your bread dough may not rise the way it should. And I have a mixture of flour here. You can see my detailed recipe on my website. And I don't add in all the flour all at once because you don't want to pack too much flour into the dough and then it become super tough and hard. We don't want super tough and hard rolls, so the secret is not to put in too much flour. Now, it will probably need all this flour, but I like to hold back a little bit just to make sure. And I'm going to add in some salt and some olive oil. Once your dough has come together and it starts to pull away from the sides a little bit, you want to knead it for 5 minutes in a machine. If you're doing it by hand, do it for 10 minutes. So we have our dough here. It is beautiful. You can see it's nice and smooth. It's still a little sticky. That's what you want. You don't want it to be too dry. And if you press down on it and it kind of springs back on you, that is a good sign. Then you're all set to go. And I have a lightly oiled bowl. I'm just going to pop the dough in there. And I like to cover it with some saran wrap, a clean towel, and leave it in a warm place to rise for about an hour. So it's been an hour and our dough has been rising. Let's take a little peek at it. Isn't that beautiful? That is a happy dough. Now, if you're somebody who likes to have the rolls all the same size and have the wreath look exactly the same all around, I would suggest you weigh your dough and then divide it. But then other people like to just eyeball it, right, Mama? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we to be honest, we mostly eyeball it. And sometimes, yeah, sure, sometimes the wreath looks a little, it looks whimsical. Mm-hmm. Whimsical, has character to it, and it's still beautiful just the same. So you be you. We want to cut it into 32 roll shapes. And I did this the other day, and you can get very confused on which ones you have divided or not. So this time I'm going to be a little more planful on how I do this. So then I'll divide this one into 2, and I'll divide this one into 2. I'll divide this into 2. You can see why this would be confusing though, can't you? Because it's like if I wasn't keeping a close eye, I could forget which ones of these I have divided. You could get to the end of this and realize, oh my, totally messed this up. I'm actually quite proud of myself because this looks way better than last. So how you shape rolls is you just pull all of the edges to the bottom so that you get a smooth roll. And then you pinch those edges together so that there's just a seam at the bottom. Then you put seam side down on the table and you use your palm and your fingers kind of in like a cup formation here, and you just roll the rolls like this. And this will help get rid of that seam and just make the roll into a beautiful round shape. Look at that. And if you look underneath, it's perfectly beautiful. See, I've now made a ring here. We are going to start to put rolls on the outside as well. So there you have it. This is our beautiful roll wreath all ready to go. We are going to now cover it and let it sit for about 30 minutes before baking it. So while we let our rolls rise, we are going to heat the oven and put a pan with water in the bottom of the oven. And the reason we do this is to create steam and moisture in the oven so that the rolls become nice and crusty and golden brown on the outside. So it's been 30 minutes. Look at our rolls. They have risen so beautifully. And the last thing I like to do before I pop them in the oven to bake is to take a little olive oil and just brush the top. And I take some flaky sea salt and just sprinkle it on top. And this is just a nice added touch. So our dinner roll wreath has come out of the oven. Doesn't it look amazing? You can serve this in so many different ways. You could put a dip or your favorite spread in the middle of this wreath, and that would be beautiful. Or you could decorate it with beautiful stems of rosemary and pomegranate seeds or cranberries. It would look very nice. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really does help me out, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday with another video.